Hello, Dave here with emergencyprepguy.com. I appreciate you stopping by. As always, remember, if you get any benefit out of these videos or if you like the video at all, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell so you get notified when we do future videos. Comment, like the video, all that sort of stuff. We appreciate it when you guys do that. That really helps us get the word out. So that's my little plug. So I'm excited about today's video. What we're going to be talking about today is I'm going to show you the process I went through of introducing 30 Rhode Island red chickens, but baby chicks. As soon as they were old enough to no longer need the heat lamp, they were feathered out enough that I could put them into this hatching time stacked cages. I'm going to show you those cages, and I'm going to show you the process of how I taught them to use the automatic water to drink and so forth. I think you'll find it very, very interesting. So let's get to watching. These I wasn't going to move the chicks into the cages you can see behind me until Saturday, but they looked so close to being fully feathered out today, and I haven't had the heat lamp on them for a day, for 2 days, I guess. Well, there was one cold day in between the 2 days that I didn't have it on, that I went ahead and left it on, but I had it pretty high. I've been kind of weaning them off of the heat lamp, and they're doing totally fine. So anyway, I decided to go ahead and move them over there today. So I'm going to show you, hopefully there'll be enough light over here on this side of the garage. Now this is the partridge cage, and this is where I'm going to keep the chickens until I'm ready to move them out. Until I'm ready to move them out into the coop, the four that I'm going to keep as egg layers, and then the other ones until they're about 10, 11, 12 weeks old, depending on how long I can keep them before the partridges need it. And then I'll process the rest of the chickens, and then the partridges will go in here. Well, anyway, this morning when I was moving them in there, I'm gonna pause the video for a second so that I can show you something. So hang on. Okay, I just opened the garage door, and I didn't want you guys to have to listen to that noise, and because I needed a little more light in here to show you. But if you look back in here, in these cages, these are pretty tall, and the chicks, when I put them in here, they couldn't reach the water spigot thing, and so I decided I better put them over here in the quail cages. Oh, and they were also one of them was small enough it was trying to squeeze through these bars, and so I decided for a couple of weeks I'll keep them in, because I won't need the quail cages for a while, but for a couple of weeks I'll keep them in the quail cages here. Now they just all ate a minute ago. I was hoping to show you them eating, but it looks, oh, there's one eating, so you can see that. The system works pretty dang cool as far as, they're kind of skittish of me. Anyway, so you saw me. Oh, there's another one gonna eat. I wanted you to see that. Maybe. There's one down there eating, and one over there. Anyway, they were all just eating a minute ago. Heads through everywhere. There we go. So this thing works pretty cool as far as feeding them. I'm kind of excited about it. And I want to show you up here this, let's pull this out where I can get a little light back there. I've got the water, as you can see. This is the automatic watering system. I haven't noticed any of them figuring out the water yet, so I'm gonna have to watch them real close and make sure they can figure out the water. So I'm gonna open this up. So you can kind of see them in there. They're not crowded at all. I've got 29 of these, so I've got 5, so you can see how feathered out they are. They're really looking feathered out. That's why that's why I decided to move them in. They're just looking warm and toasty. So I'm hoping they figure that water thing out pretty soon. See if they figure that. They were pecking at it a second ago. Well, anyway, that's my update. So you can see I've got 5 of them. I'm using 6 of these quail cages. I got 5 in each. Okay, I just want to show you they're starting to figure out the water thing. So hang on. I don't know if you can see over a couple of cages. Some of those are drinking out of the water thing down there. See if I can go around without scaring them. What I did is I stuck my finger in there and let the thing drip. See, they're fiddling with the water back there. I don't know if they figured out. What I did is I stuck my finger on there, and the little cup that catches if it drips, I pushed on the thing and kind of filled up that cup. So now there's water in that little catch cup, and so they figured out there's water in there, and as they, oh, yep, there she is. She's drinking it right off of the little spigot that they're supposed to peck on to get the water to come on the automatic feeder. So that group's figured it out. Cool. Plus they're drinking some out of the cup. This one down here, they were figuring it out. Look. Anyway, there's like 4 of the, all of the cups I've got water filled in now. You see that one there, they're still drinking back there. So those guys really got it figured out. And these ones are eating again. These are slick little cages. I wouldn't want to keep chickens in here full time, but partridges and quail are supposed to do really good in them. So I'll show you from behind what I did. So from back here, I just kind of stuck my finger through there like that. You see my finger? Oop, now he's pecking on me. But I pushed on that, and that's how I filled up the cup with water. If you can see, there's water in there. And that's how they figured out that there's water in. They found the water. They saw me doing that, and they found the water in the cup. So they're drinking out of the cup, and then they somehow, see, now these guys here are drinking out of it. See, they figured out how to peck that thing. See, they're getting it right out of this nozzle now. Instead of, then this one here, you can see I've got cup in there, but they're all busy eating. Boy, that was a cross boot. That whatever bird did that. So anyway, okay, I just wanted to show you these little guys now. They've been moved over here. I put them in afternoon yesterday, and it's now about 10:30 or so in the morning. So there they are. They're still a little skittish, so I've been walking up and spending more time around them, so that they so you can see how there's our car. It fits right in there. You can grow quail and partridges and even meat birds, Cornish cross, you could grow in these things right in your garage. And if you can see these birds, they're couple times yesterday I pushed my finger on the little water, the automatic waterer, and filled up the little reserve cups. I did that a couple of times, and they would drink out of it. I don't know that I needed to do that or not, but I wanted to make sure they knew that was where they needed to look for water. And as they would drink out of that, they would bump the little nozzle and it would get on their face, and so then they'd drink out of that. And anyway, I did that twice yesterday, and I could see some of them had, even last night, the second time I did it, I could see that some of them had already figured out the water drinker. When I came out just a few minutes ago, I should have filmed it, but I didn't. But I pulled the cage out a little ways, and I kind of got around by that freezer behind where I could see behind, and I just sat there real quietly and until I saw at least one bird from each of the cages click on that water thing. I didn't fill it up again like I did yesterday. I just watched, and they know now. They figured it out. They know how to hit the little automatic water, and water comes out and they drink it. So all of them, as long as you got one in each cage that's figured it out, the rest of them figure it out. And they all look fine this morning, so I'm sure they've all figured it out now. So that's exciting. So anyhow, let's see if I can zoom in a little so you can see these little guys. They're just chowing down there. Chowing down. So you can see I got the watering system full. In the watering system, I just put a tablespoon per gallon of the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. It's supposed to be good for the birds, but the main reason I did it, not that I don't love the birds and I want to be good for the birds, but the main reason I did it was it's supposed to also keep the algae from growing in the automatic feeder lines. So anyhow, once they get to where they were still too small for this other cage here, once they outgrow that, probably in another week or so, the main thing I was worried about them here was the yellow doors there where they stick their heads through to feed. It looked like one or two of them might actually be small enough to squeeze out. So that was one concern. And then the other thing was that they couldn't reach the water nozzle thing back there. So once I feel like they're too big for this, now that they know how to use the water things, I mean, they could have reached it in there. They'd had to stand on their tippy toes. Once they outgrow this, they should be fine in this. And they know exactly what that thing's for now, so they'll be able to figure out, they'll be able to reach the water thing. So that's kind of exciting. So what I want to show you. Sorry, birds, not trying to scare you guys. I want to take you down here and show you the poop trays. But what's cool is if you can look in here, so you can see there's a little bit of poop that stuck on the floor. But as soon as they walk on it, it pushes down. There doesn't seem to be any of them sticking. So that's one thing. This may be a little bit of a boring place for them compared to being, especially since these are chickens, and chickens will, long term will be out in a coop and running on the lawn. So this is probably a boring place for them to live a little bit, but it sure does keep them clean. And I like these. They just don't. I'm amazed at how much less feed they're eating. It's because they're not dragging it out of the feeder and onto the floor. They're not wasting it with that little grate over it and them sticking their necks through like they are. They just can't waste it anymore. They can't twist their head or whatever and throw the food around. So it's saving a lot of food. And I'm excited to get quail and partridges in here and see the eggs roll out on the egg rollers. But if you can see this is just one night. That's why they were dirtying up their shavings so fast on that in the brooder. So it's a slick system. It keeps them clean, and I mean, for raising food in you can supply all your own meat with these just out of a garage. I just think it's really awesome. So, okay, as you can see, we've had kind of a dust storm. Everything's kind of dusty, but as you can see, these what's neat about these hatching time stackable cages is that you can fit them right in the garage. I've showed you that already before, so I won't dwell on that. And you can see that I've got all of the chickens now. Like I said, they're about 7.5 weeks old, and I've got them all moved into the Partridge cages. They're actually the same size as Hatching Time's chicken cages, the smaller version of the chicken cages. And at first I had them over here in the Quail, and as soon as I could tell that they were tall enough to reach the water over here, I moved them over. And at first I put them, because they were still quite small and had plenty of room, I put 5 chickens to the cage, but now they're getting big. So about a week and a half ago, I added them down another layer, and I've thinned them down to about 3 birds a cage. I think I've got a couple birds with 2 birds a cage. So I'm gonna just kind of show these guys to you, just how big they've grown. Let's see if I can. These ones are a little more skittish than the ones that I have out in the. I just want to let you see them, how big they're getting. So they're fully feathered out. They're looking like beautiful hens. So hi, girls. Hi. They're like, why is our door open? Hi, girl. They're like, hi. Sometimes I think they look like, hey, my name's George. But anyway, they're not George because they're girls. But I digress. Okay, so here. What's that? Hi, ladies. Hi. They're like, what's going on? Yeah, see, they're getting pretty big for these cages. If I were going to keep them in here a long time, I'd probably keep them down to two birds a cage. Let's see, I think this one only has 2 birds a cage down here. Or 2 birds in the cage. Hopefully you can see them all right. Hi, ladies. You're looking beautiful. You're looking pretty. There's a couple of them over here staring at us. What you look doing? Okay, so hi, ladies. I got some down here too. So the things I like about these cages, as I've showed you in the past, is just how hygienically clean they are. If you look down there, you know, they've been in these things for weeks, and the poop just drops through, and they don't eat near as much feed as they did. You can see the poop trays get nasty. It's been 2 days, and so it's time for me to clean out the poop trays again. So I just wanted to show you those now that they're full grown. Okay, here is the Hatching Time little portable fence that you can move around your yard. I'll do another video on this, but I just wanted to show you these chickens. The thing I like about the coop and the fence is you can move the coop around and the fence, and not just have them in one part of the yard. You can move them all around different parts of your yard so they can eat all the bugs. So you can see those girls. These are the same chickens. These were the same chickens that I have in the cages. These are just the ones that I picked to be layers. So they're gonna be my full-time layers, and the rest of them that are in the cages, unfortunately, are gonna go into the freezer. So you can see, hi, girls. they're just getting used to me because I haven't spent as much time with them as they were in those cages as I would like to. Now that they're out in the coop, I'll spend a little more time with them. I'm gonna show you, they're gonna run from me. But anyway. Hi girls. They do let me pick them up once in a while, but they're still a little bit not sure if I'm a good guy or not. I have to pick them up to put them up in the coop because they haven't learned how to do the ladder yet because they're still kind of young. So anyway, I just wanted to, I know that doesn't apply with the hatching time cages, but I just wanted to show you that's where the other chicks are that I'm going to actually keep. Okay, well, I hope you can hear me okay. There's the neighbors are mowing their lawn right next to the garage, so I apologize if you can hear all that racket. But anyway, so that's the hatching time cages, and that's how I introduced the chicks. I've got some baby quail and baby partridges that they're not big enough to go in there yet, but eventually the partridges will go in the partridge cage and the quail will go obviously in the quail cage. I'll probably start the partridges in the quail cages like I did the chickens until they're big enough for the partridge cage. But anyway, I hope that was interesting and appreciate it, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks.